Today we'll talk about metric length conversions. One mnemonics help you can have to remember how this works is King Henry died Monday drinking chocolate milk. And you have to go with the first letters of those words. K for kilo, H for hecto, D for deca, M for the meter, that's your middle one. D again for deci, C for centi, and M for milli. Now, the one on the left is the big unit. The one on the right is the small unit. So when you go from big to small, what you need to do is, let's say 1 kilo is how many centi, you're going to multiply. When you go from small to big, you're going to divide. Now, what are you going to multiply and what are you going to divide with? To go from kilo to hecto, you multiply by 10. Hecto to deca, you multiply by 10. Deca to meter, decameter to meter, you multiply by 10, and so forth. When you're doing the reverse, you divide by 10. You divide by 10, and so forth. So let me give you some examples. Let's say I want to go from meters to centimeter. You need to multiply with a conversion unit ratio. So you have to have 1 meter in the denominator. And 1 meter, when you go back, meter to centimeter, you have 1, 2. Okay, so we're talking about 100 centimeters. And these two will cancel out. 1 times 100 centimeters is the answer. Now let's do, let's write this, metric unit conversions. All right, let's go and go from kilometer to meter. You need to multiply by, what you don't want has to go in the denominator, kilometer and meter, because the meter has to come out. All right, so the kilometers will cancel out. So I have 1 kilometer, and when you look at your how many steps, we're talking about 3 steps. Let me write that one down. King Henry died. King Henry died. And then you have the meter in the middle. And then you have drinking chocolate milk. Drinking chocolate milk. Okay, so that we can see it. When you see the from kilometer to meter, so you know it is 10, 100, 1,000. That's how I got that 1,000 in there. So 2 times 1,000, 2,000 meters. Let's go to the next one. Decimeters to millimeters. Decimeter is right here. Millimeter is right here. How many steps? 1, 2. So you're going to multiply by decimeter. And then how many millimeters? That's 1, 2. So that means 2 zeros. And then these two go away. And you're going to end up with millimeter. 3 times 100, 300 millimeters. Okay. Now let's do 3,000. 3,000 millimeter is how many kilometers? Now again, you're going to have millimeter in the denominator. Kilometer is on top. So 1 kilometer is how many steps when you go back and count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. When you divide 3,000 by 1 million, what you need to do is count 6 zeros. And this is where I start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're going to end up right here, 0.003 kilometers. Let's do hectometers to meters. Hectometers has to go in the denominator, meters on top because that's what I want, and the hectometers has to go away. I know 1 hectometer, if you look in here, hectometer is up here, is 10 hundred. So 1 hectometer is 100 meters. So what you end up doing is 4 times 100, 400 meters. Now let's do the decameter. So you have decameter, DAM for short, and then to meters. Now let's look at it. You are right here, and that's 1 step. So we're talking about 10 meters, and that's what needs to come out. So 1 times 10 is 10. Let's go to the next page. Now I'm going from small to big. Again, I can write the steps, King Henry, KHD, and then you have meters, and then you have decimeter, centimeter, millimeter. So I know this is the big one, this is the small one. Okay, very good. Now let's look at it. Centimeter to decameter. Centimeter has to go in the denominator, decameter has to go on top. Now decameter is here, 10, 100, 1,000. So I have 1,000 centimeters in 1 decameter, and 300 divided by 1,000, that's going to give you 0.3. Very good. Now I have centimeter, I want to go to hectometer. All right, centimeter is here, hectometer. How many steps is that? 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. So I have centimeter at the bottom, and then I have hectometer on top, because these two have to cancel out and hectometer has to come out. All right, so 1 hectometer is how many? We talked about 10,000. And then these will cancel out. You'll end up with 2 hectometers. How about 300 millimeters? And we want to go to decimeters. Millimeters to decimeter, how many? 1, 2. So that's 100. So you're going to have millimeter at the bottom so that they cancels out. Decimeters on top so that I end up with that. So 1 decimeter is 100 millimeter. 300 divided by 100, the zeros go, is 3 decimeters.